Hello everybody, Zeno here, and welcome to the Sonic the Fighters review behind the scenes. This is just going to be an ad-libbed, impromptu thing that I just talk about extra scenes, deleted scenes, things, how I made certain scenes. I'm going to explain all that stuff in this video while I talk. So, yeah, I got a fan in the background because it's freaking hot, so I apologize if you hear that in the background during this video, but let's start talking about a bunch of the things I did to make this video. First things first, you saw me in the Goku suit. Let's bring over this little file here. Here is some very, very bad, I would almost consider it test footage to see what it was like to completely green screen myself into the image using a bunch of different frames here. I kind of wish I went the route of using the Mortal Kombat style motion capture where you just take a couple frames each, but I just decided to slow the frame rate down to chop the footage to make it easier for editing purposes. But it's just a whole bunch of test shots of me doing that, and I think I redid this scene because the shadows were so bad. Getting rid of the green was so difficult. I think it actually blurred my socks out, because it was dark enough to consider it to be green. So I think I took my socks off and looked more like there's the train. Every time I record, looks like I'm flipping myself off, but it's the train I'm flipping off. Anyway, yeah, so there's that scene. I think the one thing I wanted to further explain, because a lot of this is literally just the introduction. You know, that introduction scene where I did the little Street Fighter 2 introduction and stuff like that. There's just a lot of work. I did so much work just for that intro. The motion capture for me, or motion capture scene of the spoof of this Street Fighter 2 intro and Knuckles fighting, etc., etc. Like, here we go. For example, I'm going to bring over Sonic and Knuckles fighting at the beginning was just me posing Sonic and Knuckles in Source Filmmaker and putting a green screen behind them and taking an image. Every single frame of him getting hit, Sonic getting hit. This was kind of fun posing it because I'm not really good at Source Filmmaker. So this took a long time to set up because I had to learn how to pose them correctly and stuff like that. Importing them in, like Source Filmmaker's interface is way different than Blender, and they were already rigged, so this is why I just ended up using them. But I thought it was freaking hilarious. You can see each version I did. Here's an edited picture of the pixelated version of Knuckles. And in fact, if we can see here, what I should have done was lower the color range in the final product. I never did this. I just did this right before I recorded, of Knuckles having less definition, so it looked like he would fit the Genesis era of a... It's like Mortal Kombat again. Like if you've played Mortal Kombat on the Genesis, they have digitized real-life characters, but the color palette's so low, they have very basic colors. You can tell by the shine on his dreadlocks here and the lack of definition in his color range compared to whatever I used here, which is just a mosaicked version of the same image. But yeah, that was really fun to do, and once I saw these pictures actually in the setting, I knew things were coming together, because if we go to the Adobe Animate picture here is literally a picture of them punching in the background, and if I might have to go find footage on YouTube real fast. Here we go. Okay, so again, I literally went on YouTube, looked up, because I own Street Fighter 2 for the Genesis, so obviously I could have just slapped in my Genesis, recorded the screen, but I think I just took the sound from this specific YouTube video and took inspiration, because Sonic fighting games, the biggest fighting game in the world at the time was Street Fighter 2, so I was literally doing my best to mirror the introduction of this. And I might do a post side-by-side instead of just showing you, so... So yeah, that was literally what I did For me, in the scene, if you didn't get the joke, this was literally the Street Fighter 2 intro redone with Sonic fighting Knuckles instead of these two guys. The crowd was Sonic characters. I had to animate a what would look like cheering version of them. It was really, really fun to do. So let's see if I have... Yeah, I do have the raw version right here because I photoshopped it into my TV to make it look like I was watching the intro, like I turned the game on. But this is just the raw version of it, where they're cheering. Knuckles gets punched. I found it more funny to have Sonic punch Knuckles because Knuckles is supposed to be the punchy, stronger guy, but in Sonic the Fighters, he's literally the weakest enemy in arcade mode. So this, I overthought this obviously, but I thought it was neat. And I have watched this almost 100 times just because I was so proud of it. Because I don't see a lot of the ideas in my head never come to fruition like this, and this is almost exactly what I wanted it to look like. So, other than the fact that I didn't do the like Adobe animated, made it look like I was Ryu jumping and stuff, it's exactly what I wanted it to be. So that was great. I can't remember if there's anything else I can show that's based off in real life scenes. I know I have footage of me punching myself.
I don't know why I had...
Yeah, so this scene that plays, if you saw it in the outtakes / bloopers, I have it look like I'm recoiling and falling and hitting against the wall. This is a deleted scene. The reason why this is a deleted scene is because I shot both me punching and me getting punched in the same environment, and I could not rotoscope myself to make it look like I was two me's in the same room punching each other, because I could just have it where I like overlaid the same images. It would look like I'd be fighting two ghosts of me, or I could have it where I filmed one without and one with, and having a very bad like wall where my fist disappears. That's just the simple version. It would look really dumb and amateurish. I didn't want to do that. Rotoscoping would make this possible to make it look like my fist actually came into contact with the other me and made it look like I punched myself. But for some reason, After Effects just did not want to be stable while this was happening, and I don't 100% understand why. So after it crashing 60, 70 times, wasting a whole day of editing, getting this to work properly, I just scrapped it because it was just too much work. If I had me both on a green screen punching me in this background image, I could have just done that like what I did with me getting punched by my brother later down the line. This was just a literally like improv added on while I had extra recording time idea to, when I explained the barriers in the video, have me having a edited barrier in breaking and me kicking, you know, punching until I ran out of barriers, and then, whoa, I just kicked the the mic cable there at the time. But
so there we go. Okay, so it'll be punch.
But yeah, I think I did that for like 8 minutes, just trying to choreograph how to make it look properly. I even like adjusted the camera, rotoscoped every single frame, but it would screw up because rotoscoping, After Effects tries to have it where like it intelligently predicts where your next frame will be based on things that don't move in the previous image, and it did a really bad job at doing that, and it did a really bad job at feathering my body properly. So every time I would do that, After Effects would freeze the preview HUD, and then you would have to save whatever you did, not know where it was going, close After Effects, purge the cache, reset the settings, and hope the HUD would work again for 5 more minutes while it's slowly edited. So it'd be like rotoscope 2 frames, HUD crash, save, close, open up, reload, rotoscope for a frame or two, HUD crash. It kept doing that. So that's why I was just like, screw it. Don't want to do this scene. It's too complicated. I could have just reshot and done the take, but at that point, I already had enough cutaways to me at the time, and that's why this never ended up in there. And I thought it would have been really funny because I loved the comedy of me hitting against the wall and falling over. That's why I had like 17 different scenes in the bloopers. But let's see other things. If we go back to that one scene where, do I have a render of it at all? I'm looking through my folder on the other screen here. I do not. I guess I made that specifically for After Effects. But if you saw in the bloopers, my brother was by himself. Shout out to him, by the way, for helping me do this scene, because this was the final scene I really wanted to implement. I already green screened myself getting my head distorted, like characters do when they get slapped into the game. So we just needed to find time to film together to get this done. So we used to fight all the time we played the game, so I just wanted to recreate a moment where that would happen, but he would comedically clap my head
and knock you out of the ring.
Technically, all phones can do that.
Yeah.
You just need software on the PC to analyze the footage.
Like what?
Oh, we were talking about 3D scanning the room so we could actually make it look like an arena, and he just uppercutted me out. This is obviously incredibly ambitious, but it was just a fun idea to spit around.
Scan it. It's just the iPhone, whatever you guys have, has it like
a laser, the LiDAR system.
Makes it easy,
like
and it's probably more accurate. Mm-hmm. But if you want to do a few more times, unless you feel like it's confident, I can work with it.
I feel like.
Yeah, this is us messing with his cat. I think I have more undoctored footage here I can just overlay with us, because here's me talking to him how to portray the scene. This is all done, like everything I did green screen was probably almost an entire month before this scene was shot, and at the time I sunburned my shoulder. They're still sunburned right now, but that was like glowing red face. So I'm kind of happy I did the green screen shooting, because I could have just had this where we both were on the couch. He would clap, and I would just frame by frame edit my head and hopefully not distort his hand while doing it. It would have been just as complicated as what it turned out to be in the video, but...
And I get my ass kicked.
Here's pretty much the full scene, by the way.
Like, what's happening before this scene? What are you describing?
We're both pressing buttons,
Mm-hmm.
so... We're both sitting there fucking like, oh shit, we're fighting each other. Like, let's say you're playing as Metal Sonic, because, you're going to be cheap and kick my ass. And then I get my ass kicked. You'll pretty much have to just act out gaining, like, happiness, if you know what I mean. Like, yes, I'm winning. Yeah! And that's the part where I'll be like, no, you fucking asshole. And I'll, like, start, like, yelling right next to your face like this. Uh-huh. And that's where you just, like, maybe look more pissed and then just, like, sock me with your right arm. Mm-hmm. I think right arm is what I was going for. Or you could just do that. Because I will be about right here when I get punched, according to the picture that I already did.
Right here-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as long as you don't, like, oversell your punch and be like, you'll be fine. So.
I feel like if we're going for realism's sake, what will probably happen is we'd probably just be like...
Well, maybe I could reshoot a nut tap instead.
Oh, that would just be just like
I just have to go back to my Goku suit.
Or like a leg.
And I'll sit there like, oh!
But when you get hit, is it like face hit? Is it like...
It is literally just my head. Because I crop my head out with another instance of the same clip of me doing this. Uh-huh. But it goes... It stretches like fucking Sonic the Fighters.
Okay.
Like when you clap their face, you could clap my face if you wanted to.
That sounds kind of fun. Let's go.
Yeah, just do that, and I'll be like, "Duh!" Whatever you feel like it. I'll just let you know when the 5-minute recording's up.
Oh, that's funny.
Because that was behind the scenes shit, by the way.
Okay.
It's been recording, so whenever you're ready, it's just the hard part. I don't know if you want me to be here or you want to act out.
Oh, that's fine.
You know, just skip ahead while he does like 15 different takes. This is really fun though.
Smack me with a controller, just
like. It makes me wish I had more friends or more time or more of a crew to film some of these skits with. Like, I'm not going to lie, I am incredibly inspired by Scott the Woz. I'm obviously nowhere near as talented as him. He has friends and stuff, and he writes cool scripts that are entertaining. I'm just a one-man crew. I almost am making a joke about it, that I have to make multiple instances of myself. Like, I'm going crazy. There's only me, and me in the video because that's all I have to work with. So, yeah, this is incredibly fun to witness. If you still sat through that, I'm trying to remember if there's anything else I can explain here. We talked about the animating. Let's see if we can make a version of it without Sonic and Knuckles. I think we can just... No, there's not a way to delete them. Oh, I can just delete the whole layer, I guess. But it would have the layers of the characters animating without them this time. And that was really loud. I apologize. I forgot about the sound layer too. But it's really cool to see them animate like they're cheering, just like the Street Fighter video. You know, a bunch of different Sonic character cameos, and then I just used the background of the Street Fighter because it already fit the Genesis, and it was super fun. I can't remember if I'm in the second part of the video or do I Photoshop that in? Nope. Okay, so yeah, here the green screen version of me is there. Everything else was part of the video. So yeah, even the part where I was like, I wanted to make that my avatar for a while, but I'm kind of just going with the streak of still being Dart from Legend of Dragoon because I've been Dart almost for like 10, 11 years now. So anything else? I'm looking at anything else. Other than that, I have some pictures of me doing the time cards. Bunch of footage that's in the bloopers that I thought was noteworthy. The original version I had of me being green screen and my brother, this was a placeholder image I used to green screen myself. Wow, you can see all the garbage in there. That's kind of sad. So yeah, like 10 different versions of this picture. I literally just green screened this as a frame of reference, and I tried to recreate it as much as I could for the second thing. But yeah, if we go and watch the actual render for a millisecond here, we'll skip to the part where I say we fight. Yeah, here it is. So what I had to do was test how certain moves worked. Obviously, I overnoised myself, but the green screen footage shows I tried to match the color output of the video because I just set my phone on auto, which really fucked with the colors. And since I use pro mode on my camera for green screen shots, so the autofocus doesn't kick in and the ISO doesn't change dynamically while you're filming. It screws with the green screen dramatically. But I had to do my best to replace and desaturate the colors, desaturate noise up the video to make it look like I fit in the scene. Obviously, I still stick out like a sore thumb and I overdid it, but I think it didn't look too bad for the shot. So when you see this happen, like obviously, you even see the normal shot of the camera autofocus over me. Like that's how bad of a shot I did, but I was just ready to get the video done. Because it's been in production hell for so long. But my favorite part, probably in the whole video, is this. It was just better than the other. This is the go-to game mode. I love it. Other than that, a lot of other stuff was just me playing the game over and over again. So, I don't know. That's the behind the scenes. That's how I did it all. I tried my best to explain it all in one specific go. We're almost 20 minutes in, but if you stuck around, I thank you very much, and hopefully Sonic Battle won't take as long, but it probably will because Sonic Battle has a lot more story and a lot more gameplay mechanics to explain. So, until next time, Xeno's out of here on Xtra76.